Welcome back to the ministry. And today we are talking about the second episode of Magyver. Now, this one is extensive. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a mini piece, 7 parts. So we're going to see how far we get in this. And because I got scripture that I got to add in this because the Lord done showed me some things. And we're going to flow with the Lord. Lord, I give this to you. Whatever it is that you desire, don't let us miss any revelation that you need for us to have in this, Lord. I give it back to you. All right, let's get started. Let your words come out my mouth, Jesus, in the name and for the fame of Jesus Christ. So, this is the second episode of Magyver. In it, it starts off in a desolate, abandoned building. You're seeing things that look like people had just dropped everything. The building looks debris filled. It looks like a mess in there. And you're seeing water dripping. You're seeing, it's like people had to leave in a rush. But it also looks like something was shaken up. God has shaken up the scenario that if we remember, and God's bringing my attention to this, remember in Exodus 14:14. Oh my goodness, somebody has had a video the other day. It was 14:14. And in Exodus 14:14, it's either 14:14 or 13:14, 14:13, that the Lord says to the people, stand and see the salvation of the Lord, because he has them go and I need you to go get all the jewelry, all the rubles, all of this. And then what does Pharaoh do? Pharaoh tells them, go. I want all y'all to get out. Take whatever you have. Remember, they were actually leavening bread and preparing certain things. They didn't even have time to get that. This is how it ended up being the Passover, because they didn't even get to leaven the bread. They were like, we got to go. That's what I see in this destruction. It's like these people that had no time to stick around for whatever it was. And this is the first scene that you see. Next, you see a bomb robot. This is the actual robot that they use to go detect if a bomb is in the vicinity. Now, to me, it looked like one had already went off, to be honest with you. Nothing looked, it looked abandoned, but it still looked like something happened. Meaning, it may not have been to the fullest extent of what was assumed to have happened, but something did happen. So the robot comes in and it's supposed to be detecting. It has the bag, it has the object. It's slowly trying to open it with the zipper, and you're like, okay, the bomb must be in there. The second that it opens it up, it's like, there's nothing in there. Some of you, the enemy has been distracting. You think that that's what it is. You think that the attack is coming from this obvious place. It's got to be that. I mean, it's the bag. The bag has got to have the bomb in it, right? It must be. But the bag was safe. False sense of security. False evidence appearing real. So they're like, oh, there ain't nothing in there. We good. We good. So let's just go in there. It wasn't no bomb. And everybody came in there. It's like there were two bomb techs went in there thinking like, oh, it's good. They come up right behind the bomb robot. Boom. It goes off. You want me to bring this in here? I'm going to bring this much in here. That the other day, I saw a video clip from the news stating that a bomb went off in a city that nobody had expected this, but there was no warning, there was no siren, there was nothing to tell you that a bomb was going to go off. But I've also been noticing that there are places in the United States that have been being hit with weird weather phenomenons, tornadoes, things in areas. It's like, but when you look at the concentration of the place that was hit, it's a place that we know major witchcraft and all this type of stuff has been happening, and it's been hitting right in those areas. God is moving. And in this scenario, it wasn't the case just yet, but there was a false sense of security. Now, in your life, the enemy is trying to create a false sense of security. He's trying to lull you to sleep. What he's doing right now is he's sending attacks. And you think they come in from one direction, but didn't I just say in the previous video, don't expect it. It's not coming the way that you thought it was. The enemy is also doing the same thing. His attacks ain't coming like you thought they were. Why would the enemy send an attack when he sees that you see it? You're watching that door for that attack. You're looking for this. He's expecting you to expect that. You know where the bomb was? In the one place you would have never expected. It was in the bomb robot that was supposed to tell you it was a Trojan horse. The robot was the Trojan horse. The enemy's trying to blindside you in this season. He wants to bring an attack because he knows there's a major blessing on the horizon for you. You sense it, you know it, you feel the shift. But because this major blessing, and come on now, if you've been going through this walk with God long enough, every time a season of elevation comes, the enemy always tries to bring a derailing attack from a place you did not see it coming to come hit you like that. They didn't see that this robot actually was the bomb because nobody would have looked for that. The enemy's trying to bring an attack that you would not expect to you right now. You're expecting certain attacks, and the enemy is monitoring to see where you're expecting the attack. He ain't gonna send it there. Nope, that's not where it's coming. He's sending it in a subtle place that could be a Trojan horse where you may open the door. I've been saying this with the word of temptation. You may be the one to open the door. Be careful. Bold for Christ released the word the other day. Be careful. 111. It's called 111. And she said, be careful of whose gates you are opening, because you're the one that's going to open the gate to this attack. They thought they were safe, so they went back in the building. And that's when the bomb went off. There are things that look inconspicuous, that look like, that's no big thing. If I just do that, it's not going to affect my promise. No, that's going to affect your promise. There have been people that have been slipping in this season that they have literally been giving up right now, and they've been opening doors to, and this is all the enemy is doing. Let me drop this in your email. Let me drop this message to you right quick. I know you stressed out about something. I know you doubting something. So I'm going to offer this. I'm not going to present it in the sense of an offer. I'm just going to put it in front of you. And if you open it, if you DM the person back, if you fill out that application, if you do it, I'm going to just sit it there for you though. Because if it's sitting there, ain't nothing else happening, God brings you the answer. The enemy sits the answer that looks presentable. The apple was presented to Adam. He had to choose to take the bite. The apple was presented to Eve. Oh no, that'll work. I mean, I know he said that you can't touch that tree, but I mean, He brought the apple to her. She didn't walk over to that tree and get that apple. The enemy brought the apple to her. Some things are going to come into your inbox. They're going to be text message. They're going to be emails. These people are going to come to you. And it's not that they're going to actually come to you. They're just going to be right there. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to see if you're going to come to me. Because that's the way the enemy works. Because one, he's arrogant, prideful fool. So he's just saying, I'm staying right here. I know you want something, so I'm going to get you to come to me. And you won't think that you did it on your own. And it's going to be one of those scenarios. But you stepped out of God's will because you came to me. This is what I was saying in temptation. Don't bite the bait. Elisa Marie released the word, don't bite the bait. Don't bite the bait. A lot of us are frustrated in this season. A lot of us are temperamental. And notice that frustration, anger, and temperament is hitting you right now. When you get into those feelings, sit with the Lord. Go into your meditative place. Go into your quiet space and say, what is this here for? What's this frustration here for? Obviously, it's here in order to get me to act out of my own character. Why? Sit with yourself and ask yourself, why is this frustration here? It's to push you into acting out of what it is that the Lord is saying that you can't do. It's like, don't do it. I'm trying to bless you in this season. And because I'm trying to bless you, you can't be maneuvering a little left on me. I need you to calm down. So with that being said, they send a bomb squad members let me explain this because it's two things. They send the bomb squad member in. This bomb squad member is Magyver's best friend as well. They've been tight for years. This is the guy that he always goes to anytime they have a partner stuff. In the previous episode, I talked about this. He's the one that they always go to. Well, this guy, he is close. Let me see what his name means, because they call this guy Charlie. Let's see what it means. His name means free man, okay? Now, this is going to be relevant later. Charlie means free man, okay? Now, Charlie is sent in to deactivate or check the bomb scene, see if there's any other bombs, see if they observe the scene, record the scene so that they can track the path of the bomb. They already know what did it. Now they're just trying to figure out how it was done. So while he's in there, a security guard comes out of nowhere. He can't really tell because it's still smoke and debris in the area. He's got on his bomb suit. And this person shows up. He's like, what are you doing in here? And the guy smiles and comes up to him. And I don't know how he does. I think he shot him in the leg with his gun. And then Charlie's on the ground and he gets stabbed in the back of the neck. Okay. Let me pause here. The serpent is setting you up in a trap. You want me to bring that in here now, Lord? All right. Is this where you wanted it? Yep, it's right here. I was about to go into it. The Lord showed me the movie Taken, but specifically what the guy does when he's about to express his feelings for the situation. But God's giving me this in this moment. He actually gave me a little bit of the understanding, but I'm going to give it to you right now. He had me write it down like this. Remember how in Taken, whenever a person was taken, the guy who was going to save them was on the phone. Yes? He gives them the first instruction. This instruction moves them. It gives them a false sense of security, right? Because they're like, oh, you know what you're doing? You understand this? Okay, what do I need to do? And he's like, I need you to move over here. And they move over there. Second instruction positions them. God in this season is literally giving you the instruction to position you. Remember that word that I gave y'all a while back where it felt like I was saying that the Lord was literally positioning you on a train track and the train's coming directly at you? And you're sitting there like, God, that train is coming at me. You were supposed to put me in the safe space over there. And God's like, I know. But the train's coming at me. I know. The second move or the second instruction positions them. Now they're thinking, okay, I'm in my hiding place. You're telling me the instructions. Everything is good. The last instruction, what does the guy in Taken say? You're about to be taken. I'm getting chills all over this. God is positioning you to look like this is about to be a very bad situation. That guy's got his best friend. His best friend was stabbed in the back of the neck by this guy who shot him. The first thing, he got shot in the leg. The instruction, he went in there. The second thing, he gets shot. So the shot positions him. The last thing, he gets a drug put into his system in order for him to be taken to where he's being taken. Lastly, what does the guy in Taken always say? I'm a person with a particular set of skills. I will find you and I will kill you. God sets you up. I'm about to show you how this setup works. Follow me, because God gave me this revelation last night when I was watching this episode. And I was like, what? Come on, Jesus. So Magyver, now he comes in now understanding Charlie was taken, because it didn't take that much, because they're trying to figure out where Charlie's at. So he's sent in to check what happened to Charlie. They thought he got lost in the building. So they're like, he never did come out. So let's see where he went. And then he sees the trail of blood. God leaves you a trail, signs, understanding in the midst of the chaos. Okay. He saw the blood. And can we just talk about the fact that it was blood? God, Jesus's blood. Come on. I'm leading you somewhere. Follow me. So he goes in and he figures out that this guy has been taken somewhere else. So once he finds out the secondary location that this guy has been taken to, he and Riley, the technical support, catch it, follow. God gives you your technical support. Remember, she represents the Holy Spirit in this situation. Follow. We are literally about to see the trifecta, the three, the Trinity in this moment. Follow me. And they're always available in the midst of pressure. Follow this. So he makes it to the next location, but there are authority figures. Sometimes when God is moving, the enemy will place a barrier in front of you. To you, it looks like a blockade. But to God, it's like, this is never a blockade. He said, we need to get in there. And they're like, well, we understand the situation. Where did you come from? Because they didn't even get notification he was coming. And they're like, look, we ain't got time for this. We need to talk to you, to the person that's in there right now. We don't need. And they're like, who are you? Because I'm the authority in this building. How can you blah, 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 blah. He don't say nothing else.
he picks up his phone and calls his boss. His boss has one of those, and it's funny, his boss is very short. The actress that they chose to play this character actually has a health condition that literally makes her short. She ain't no taller than about 3 feet. But she got a power position in this show. Meaning, all she did was he handed the woman the phone and the woman moved. And she listened to the phone. She's like, I don't know who that woman was, but she said that I had to give y'all the ability to go in there. God will position people of authority to assist you in situations of high pressing circumstances. You may be in the circumstance and be like, I do not know how I'm going to get out of this situation. And he will position somebody that's like, hold on, I know who to call. I said this in the episode that I talked about, what's his name? CSI New Orleans. And they had somebody that they had a major issue, and they had somebody, all they had to do, he would make one phone call. God has people in position that are going to help you in this situation, but you got to have clear mindedness. I've been in situations where I should have got in trouble for certain situations. The person that was coming at me had an authority figure, and God would literally send that authority figure in, and the person, they have brought me to tables. They have brought me to situations. They have literally been standing in front of me, and they were like, we're going to do this to you. And the other person said, oh, no, you're not. They have this, and this in order. We're going to let that person off. And that other person was so pissed off at me. I'm like, God will do that. You just got to trust God and ask him to show you who those people are, because you won't need it in certain scenarios that you're about to walk into. So with that being said, the authority, whoever that was, we ain't never see her no more after that moment. So she leave, and Magyver and Riley open up the elevator. It's an elevator. You're at the moment of your elevation, and it's been booby trapped. The very thing that's supposed to get you out is being booby trapped. It's been trapped, booby trapped. So, with this being said, he gets clearance. They got the person. Charlie, remember, Charlie Freeman. We're going to get into this. The only thing between them was glass doors. And it's funny. I've been getting repetitive reminders of gates. Gates. Tiffany Montgomery did a snippet. Well, she did an entire sermon, but she ended up talking for a good 20 minutes in her Covered by God in January. When she comes up in her green dress talking about gates, oh my goodness. Gates are places, and Apostle Youngblood talked about this the other day. Gates are places. Was it him or was it the other person? No, it was Bold for Christ that talked about the gates, but he did mention something on gates. It just wasn't this. Gates are places that business is done. Gates, remember, Boaz made his offer at the gate. Remember, Esther was given the information from Mordecai at the gate. All of this was done at the gate. Gates are places of decision. Gates are places of negotiation. The doors. And it's interesting because the door was opened, but it was a glass panel set of doors. Some of you are seeing through the doors of your exaltation. Right when they were about to open the doors, they pried the main elevator door open, and they stuck something in the door sides to hold the door open so that they could determine what they were going to do next. Guys still laying there. And they're literally making the determination, okay, what do we need to do here? Okay. But the guy, his mouth is taped shut. Some things, because of the type of test that it is, the piece of people that you think that you're going to be able to help you, they're going to be. That's exactly what he was. He couldn't tell them nothing because his mouth was taped shut. Some people, the Lord is going to purposely keep them silent in your season of testing because he needs you to come to the understanding. But the guy was signing to them. He gave them a signal. God's going to give you a sign. Even though that person can't tell you, he's going to give you a sign in the atmosphere. And for some of you, this is your sign. Hi, this instruction is your sign. And he couldn't tell them nothing in order to help them, but he gave them enough of a signal, shaking his head. They knew something's wrong here. What's wrong here? And Magyver starts looking around. Some things look like they should be easy. Come on now. I'm talking to somebody. Some of y'all in situations, I've done this before. I was able to do this and this was easier than this. What in the world? Oh my God. Why is this hard all of a sudden? Why am I looking for booby traps in places that I should have already, this should be easy for me. What's this? What's this? There was a sensor at the top of the elevator that if they tripped it by opening the door, it was going to kill all of them. And it was on either side. So they're like, oh, God, now we got to figure out how to get this guy out of here without. So they ended up it's a trigger. It's a leak trigger. It's a specific type. And it's funny. I wrote the word leap. Leap. God, what are you saying? The trigger is to prevent you from leaping. Because you have to use caution before you leap into this situation. They ended up needing to try and figure out what exactly it was that this thing was. It was more intricate than what met the eye. The enemy's setting up a booby trap that's more intricate in order to trap you. And God's saying, don't you step into that. What meets the eye looks simple. What meets the eye looks, oh, that's okay. But it's a trap. So the doors have a trigger point. There is a notification of the bomb. They figure out that the triggers are not only the sensors at the top of the elevator. They had to go up several levels, elevation. They had to go up and come down on top of the elevator. When he came down on top of the elevator, he came to the realization of the trigger points on the elevator. And he ended up coming back to tell the guy, we can't get you out of there that easy because there's a trigger on top of the elevator that if we do this, it's going to snap and it's going to drop you. The other one is going to blow. And yeah, and the guy's like, what? But what they end up doing is they they cut him loose so he was able to take the gag off. So what the Lord is showing me in this is Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Okay? Hold on. Okay. What you notice is Charlie's in the elevator. The heat outside is making that elevator hot. So Charlie in this, he's sweating. He is sweating. And this reminded me of Jesus. Jesus was sweating bullets. Blood was coming out of his body. Jesus went with them to the place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, sit here while I go yonder and pray. And taking with him Peter, the two sons of Zebedee, and he begins and says to them, my soul is very sorrowful, even in death. Pay attention. God wants you to pay attention. Remain here further. And he fell on his face and prayed, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me, but nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Charlie is in the elevator. He has no way out of this situation. The only resource he has is Magyver and Riley. That's it. This is like the two sons of Zebedee that was supposed to help him pray. He in there, he praying for his life. Because this is it. If he don't get out of this elevator, he's gonna die. So, they find out that this bomb is bigger and has multiple triggers. There is another bomb. It's in another building. And it's bigger and it has multiple triggers. The enemy will set you up that he gonna set triggers around your blessing, and he's gonna set triggers around even his assignment, meaning something that he set up for you. You got triggers around his thing and triggers around your thing. And because you see these triggers, you see, for some of y'all, the trigger literally is your thought process around it. Oh Lord, is this of the enemy or is this of God? Oh my God, is this of God? Is this going? If I step into this, what pressure is going to come to me because I stepped into this? Is this actually of God or is this a problem? Triggers, triggers, triggers. What did we say in the word triggers? Some of them are temptations. Some of them are your past issues. Some of them, the triggers around these things are literally old remembrances of things you did in the past, trying to force you into the direction that the enemy wants you to go in order for you to stay stagnant in this place. And your mind is going to safety. It's saying, I need to be in a safe place. I don't need to mess. And some of y'all is sitting there like, the opportunities are presenting themselves, but they triggers around that.